Hello everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk about the necessity of haters in our lives. Oftentimes without them, we have a tendency to depend on man's approval. We have a tendency to want man's validation for our lives. But when those wonderful haters come along, one or two things will happen. Their agenda will be fulfilled by crushing you and bringing you to a point where you just give up. Or you will bring yourself to a point where you say, it is for God I live and for God I die. And it doesn't matter what man thinks, says, or feels about me. My life is unto him. You see, as believers, we are supposed to take up our cross and follow him. And when we're so worried and concerned about the thoughts, about the opinions of others toward us, that hinders us from taking up that cross. That hinders us from really dying to self, from really being who we are supposed to be in God, from really fulfilling our call. So when those haters come along, they put some lies out. They put some gossip out. Doing what they do. And that flesh of yours gets all emotional. It brings you to a point of maturity if you allow it. Where that emotionalism that you might be feeling has to be just that, what you're feeling. And you have to continue to walk in the reality of your purpose and your call on the earth. And sometimes it just takes haters to bring you to that point. But don't ever forget, the number one hater, the hater of all haters, is Satan himself. And when people are hating, sometimes you can't even blame them. Jesus told the Pharisees at one time, he says, you're just following your father, the devil. People can't help but do what has been taught to them. So if your father is a liar, if your father is a cheater, if your father is a swindler, if your father is a no good, low down, dirty, rotten scoundrel, 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to become. Oftentimes haters are just following after their father. And so since the Bible says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and rulers of wickedness in high places, that's who the fight is against. That's who the struggle against. And they manifest themselves through people. So I'm coming to the point where I'm discerning the difference. And that's not always easy to do. Because what is before you, what is in your face, is what you want to make the target. And in the life of the believer, that should never be the case. The target is always your enemy. The target is always your number one hater, the devil himself. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and be blessed.